Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So the Asian Cup is coming slowly but steady to its end, and not that slowly, honestly. We are already at the quarterfinals. In 10 days the Asian Cup is gonna be over. Fortunately in one side and unfortunately on the other side. Unfortunately, of course, because it's a beautiful competition. We are seeing a lot of national teams fighting to win the most important Asian tournament. Fortunately the other side, because I know that many fans are waiting to the J League, the K League to start. We have a couple of championships that have already started, like the Indian Super League, and the Chinese Super League has to start. The A League didn't stop for some reason. And yeah, we'll see how that goes, and when that happens we will have some new players in some new teams. Here I don't have all the players that have moved in this transfer market period, because of course I don't have that much space. I just have this whiteboard, so we will work on this. I just put some names and random order. Let's start with Krouma. Krouma, we have seen him in the Asian Cup with Syria. He's a defender that I know pretty well. He is really solid. He's really good. He can play as central defender and also as a central midfielder. He has a great shot. He can really be effective in so many ways, and yes, he can make mistakes here and there sometimes. But his working ethic and his he's always on point. Working ethic is always great. Work ethic is great. When he plays, he gives 100% always. And I mean, it's great to have a player that can be a center defender and center midfielder, because he can disrupt the play on the midfield when you need someone like tougher and stronger, and he has a good shot, so he can also attack. He can also produce offensively. When you want someone to put a header and on a corner kick or something like that, he's not top notch, but he can do it time to time. So I think it's gonna be really interesting to see him in the Indian Super League, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Then we have Nikhil Pujari. Pujari is a player that I've said it's really interesting. We've seen him with Hyderabad. Now he goes to Bengaluru. Bengaluru needs a couple of changes, a couple of things to try to recover into the standings and improve their season. They really need to improve their season. They need to stay in that top 6, top 5 if they can. We'll see how that goes. Pujari is a really interesting player. He lives in Hyderabad. I'm not that surprised about that, but we'll see how it goes in Bengaluru. Jung Jung Ho, he leaves Pohang Steelers. He leaves the Pohang Steelers. We knew that he probably was going to Europe. He joins Partizan, and honestly, I have never thought that we would have a Partizan Red Star Belgrade derby where we have also a Korean derby, because with Red Star Belgrade we know that there is Wang Im-beom. And yeah, we'll see if Jung Jung Ho how his European career goes, and if he can join the South Korean national team going towards the 2026 World Cup. That's a very important thing, and I hope for him that he develops well. He's a good player, and in Partizan, he will have pressure, but at the same time, because it's an important team, but at the same time it's gonna help him develop, and he will have the time to work on his game. Khalil Elías, other Syrian national team player. He leaves San Lorenzo. He leaves South America for the first time ever. He joins Johor Darul Tazim. And we've seen him. He's a playmaker. He can play the ball. He can do a lot of stuff. He can attack. He can in the midfield. You can put him everywhere. Sometimes he can play as a winger as well, but generally speaking, Khalil Elias is a great player that can really help in the AFC Champions League. So we see how that goes. Another player that I'm surprised to see going away is Zeka. I'm surprised to see him leaving Poa Steelers. I thought he was going to stay, but he's going to join Shandong Taishan. Shandong Taishan, we have seen them in the AFC Champions League. We have seen them really competitive in the Chinese Super League. Leaving the K-League to the Chinese Super League is an interesting move because these are two leagues that have in some ways a similar style of playing, but some other ways you don't know how really a player can translate their game from a place to another. So we'll see how that goes, but Zeka is an absolutely great player, and he helped a lot Pohang Steelers in the last season, so we'll see how that goes. Then we have Pratama Arhan, Indonesian player. He was with Tokyo Verdy last year. Tokyo Verdy that went from J2 back to J1. And he goes to Suwon FC in the K1 league. We see how that goes. Obviously, this is a player that needs development, that needs to work on his stuff, on his skills, on his game. And I think Suwon FC and the K League can be a good place where he can develop. I thought he would have stayed with Tokyo Verdy, but perhaps there were other plans. So I think Suwon FC anyways is a good place where to play, where to stay, and we will follow him closely because he is a talented player. Then one of the last breaking news is Aziz Behich. He leaves Melbourne City FC and goes to Al-Nasr in Saudi Arabia. Of course, that's a pretty surprising news, but Al-Nasr has a lot of star players. They have Cristiano Ronaldo, they have Sadio Mane, they have so many star players, but they need experience in the AFC. And I've said many times, you can have all the star players that you want, but every place that you go, like Zeka, I was saying, he plays in the K-League, then goes to the Chinese Super League. Yes, he's a talented player. Yes, that is a great player. But you need the experience to play in certain places, in certain leagues, in certain things. And Aziz Behich has the experience in the AFC, and that's what Al Nassr needed. They need experience in the AFC if they want to win the AFC Champions League, if they want to win the Saudi League. They need that. Aziz Behich has that, and I think he's gonna be really, really interesting to see in the Saudi League. This isn't a move that I was expecting. Of course, Melbourne City lose a big piece of their team, but Aziz Behich, it's gonna be interesting to see him in the West zone of the Asian Champions League, so we'll see how that goes. Yuki Ohashi leaves Shonan Bellmare to go to Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Sanfrecce Hiroshima this year are going to be interesting. They have the new stadium. And the new stadium is absolutely great. I've seen it. It's almost complete. It's really nice, and they're gonna be really satisfied to have Yuki Ohashi that was really the reason why Shonan Bellmare is still in J1. Without him, I think Shonan Bellmare wouldn't be in the top tier of Japanese football this year. After they lost Shuto Machino, I always mistake his pronunciation. Shuto Machino, after he left to go to Hostel Kiel in the second tier of German football, they've lost their main goal scorer, their main player, and Yuki Ohashi has stepped up and scored a bunch of goals and helped the team to get to stay in J1, and that's really a big factor, and we see how that goes in Hiroshima. Then we have Thiago Robo. Thiago Robo leaves Daejeon, goes to Chongbuk. Thiago Robo has pretty much done what Yuki Ohashi has done, perhaps not in that scale. For Daejeon Hana, Daejeon Hana didn't really need one player to save them and everything, but he was the main player in the main when they needed the player to step up. Thiago Ropo did that with Dajon, so that's a big loss for Dajon Hana, but John Book certainly has ambitions to get back to the top, get back on winning the title, and perform well even in the Asian competition. So we'll see how that goes with Thiago Robo. He's certainly a great player, and he can help them a lot. Then we close this video with Kyohei Noborizzato. Kyohei Noborizzato is one of those players with a lot of experience with Kawasaki Frontale, and he goes to Cerezo Osaka. I'm surprised about this move. I'm really surprised about this move, because Noborizzato is a great player. He's a player that was part of that block of Kawasaki Frontale that brought them a lot of titles, a lot of things. And now he leaves. He goes to Cerezo Osaka. And counting the fact that Leandro Damiao has left, other players are leaving, you have a situation where really Yamane has left. He went to LA Galaxy, Nick Yamane. So now Kawasaki Frontale are changing a lot. They are trying to change their core and something, and then go forwards with that. And they have, of course, talented players, but they need to really hope that this works, because if it doesn't, they might get really affected from this, and to reform a core like core players, and you have that things that brings you titles, brings you success, needs time, and needs a lot of time. So we see if that works for Kawasaki Frontale. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Of course, there are other players again that are not in this whiteboard, but that's really important. Went from team to another, but I don't have enough space, so it is what it is. That's pretty much it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you soon.